My presentation today is about a new experiment. It's not experiment, a complete experiment, but just a trial we did just in October of this year, few weeks ago, about accessible coding, tools, strategies, and co-creation with disabled learners. I'm Marcella Mandanici. I work at the Conservatory in Brescia, and I founded in 2023 Teach Music APS, that is an Italian organization dedicated to inclusive arts and music education. My presentation focuses on how music coding, and especially the tool strudel.cc, can be adapted to become an accessible, playful, and meaningful learning experience for young people with disabilities. So I think that this tool is really a very accessible, really, it makes music very in your hands. So in this presentation, I will first describe the experiment, and then I will introduce very shortly some features of the Strudel language, that is a platform for live coding. Then I will describe some challenges our participants faced during the experiments, and some strategies we employed to overcome these. Then we'll describe some co-creation and physical activities, and I will finish with some results we observed, then can inform next research activities. So the intervention, the project consisted in 4 hours of guided music coding using Strudel. So our was an exploratory field trial with 20 subjects, very great number for disabled people, but we were bound to a call, and so we had to deal with this great number of subjects. The subjects were born from 2002 to 2014, and there were 8 females in the group. The group included all participants with non-motor disabilities, and included autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome, and developmental delays of cognitive and linguistic nature, and some difficulties with social integration associated with neurophysiological and environmental factors. The trial took place in Rovato, Brescia, the 17 and 31 October of this year. What is Strudel? It's a digital tool, it's a digital platform. It's a browser-based music coding environment, entirely running on the platform strudel.cc with no need for installation. So it's completely open source. Everybody who can digit strudel.cc and begins to make music immediately. It uses text patterns to control elements such as rhythm, melody, samples, effects, and various forms of musical transformation. It is designed with live performance and improvisation in mind. However, it has a lot of interesting educational possibilities. And the tool responds immediately. So as soon as the learner type the codes, they hear immediately the result, which can, this thing can be highly motivated. So technically, Strudel is built with the JavaScript and Web Audio API, which ensures real-time audio rendering and fast interaction, crucial for maintaining engagement. A short overview of the syntax of Strudel, very simple. It's made of, first of all, it's announced by colors, so it makes very easy to understand what part of the code is playing. We have a function in pink, then round brackets, quotation markers, and the code inside. This is, for instance, is a code for a very simple percussion sequences. And then we have a very simple melodic sequence that can be written both by MIDI pitch or letter names for notes. For learners who may struggle with complex syntax, this minimalism is essential, of course. It gives them a sense of success early on, encouraging exploration rather than fear of making mistakes. It's nearly impossible to make mistakes because Strudel is very friendly and nearly never stops, only in very bad cases. So, what challenges we notice immediately faced by people with impairments other than motor when typing on a computer keyboard? This was the main problem. We noticed visual impairments. Some participants struggled to see the keys clearly or distinguish between characters, especially punctuation marks or special symbols. Our impression was that these people was not accustomed in working with computers in general. And this is a bad thing, in my opinion, for people with such disabilities. Cognitive or learning challenges. Remembering the layout of the keyboard was a problem. Following a multi-step instruction, for instance, combining two keys together, or sequencing letters for composing, for instance, a melodic sequence. Language or communication impairments. Some learners had difficulty connecting letter names, spoken sounds, and musical notes. Predicting spelling or recalling vocabulary also played a role. Attention difficulties. Maintaining focus on typing for extended periods or switching attention between screen and keyboard required significant effort. Recognize these challenges was crucial. It allowed us to design scaffolding strategies that enable everyone to participate meaningfully. So we adopted some strategies to overcome these problems. First, limiting complexity. It's possible to make music with Strudel, also with very basic and very simple functions. So no need of a lot of functions. Of course, a lot of functions make the musical output much more interesting, but this was not the task of our intervention. Second, large eye contrast test. You see an example of how Strudel is flexible in this extent because, for instance, you see it has a lot of different characters for accommodating all the planet's languages and letters. We have, for instance, two different dimensions of the characters. Of course, for us, the biggest was better, and also more contrasting colors. We have a lot of possibilities. And of course, in contrasting color is not only a question of playing with the software, but it's a question of accessibility for disabled people. Then we use also paper-based support. Printable guides show the pattern, scale, location, and common code structures. Because it was easier for the participant to follow the code by copying it from a paper support. Then we invented two strategies, that is the use of images. Using visual prompts helped the learners to build melodic sequences by associating images and not letters, or playing with number sequences. So numbers replaced letters in some exercise, allowing learners to engage with melody using logical, familiar structures. These strategies made the coding process more playful, allowing learners to interact with music in creative and not intimidating ways. An example of the use of images. You see, we have a bag, so we translate bag in notes, and this is the very result. Okay, and then face. Okay. So, ecco, questo è andato indietro. Ok. so we create a bridge between visual recognition and musical notation. Instead of memorizing letters, participants could rely only on visual semantics. These enjoyed choosing images, combining them, and discovering what melodies emerged from their selections. This approach also supported autonomy, as students could independently propose new combinations. The other approach, okay, is the use of number sequences. We played with counting in fours, counting in tens, or tenths. Oh. Oh. No, stop. Okay, so for many students, numbers feel secure and familiar, far more so than music, abstract music notation or foreign language levels. And so this approach encouraged exploration and logical thinking. And the results could also be discussed from an expressive point of view. Here we come to a critical point. How does this this strudel sound? Okay, it sounds weird, not okay. It's not fit for Christmas melodies, but it's fit from many other musical nuances. So, for instance, you can help imagination by changing the timbre of the same sequence. Or like this. Excuse me, but I cannot solve it. The only thing I can do I can go on. Sorry. Sorry, because the audio, okay, it's not was so meaningful, but of course, this game of change the timbre is it's useful for discussion, also to answer question, how does this sequence sound if we change the instruments? Does it feel different? And we can change also the speed. We can make very easy manipulation. I cannot fix the problem. I don't know if I can go on. Okay. Co-creation activities. Co-creation was a central part of the project. There is something not, do you see the change? There is something not working in my computer. Okay. Okay, without sound. You see?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes.
So, as I said, this sharing, these co-creation activities, you know, we have a participant who played, who invented a number sequence. So we split it into ranges. So we have a lower range, a middle range, high range. So we made a shared composition. And okay, and then another, I'll go on quickly. So another thing we did is useful that it's a video this where we okay, you don't see, okay. We invented also some physical activities echoing the strudel output. So you can have also participants coming here and to compose their rhythm, and the rest of the group repeating it. And so benefits, what we observed. A positive attitude towards computers, especially among those initially hesitant. The problem is that these people has not access to computing, and this is a very great problem. They don't have a computer at home, they don't use the computer for their activities, so they are completely cut out from all the digital world, and this is not a good thing. And then improved keyboard orientation, thanks to the repeated practice in a playful context. Development of computational thinking, including pattern recognition and sequencing. Greater accessibility to music making, of course, because this tool allows immediately access to music. High emotional engagement, And refinement of musical listening skills, you know, these timbre transformations are very important for this and others also. Enhanced social inclusion, cognitive stimulation, and physical engagement. All these aspects suggest that coding can be a valuable tool in inclusive education settings. But, okay, this is, okay, sorry that you cannot hear it, but of course, no, okay, sorry. But we also faced some critical aspects. That is, the necessity of using a computer laboratory for the coding activities, because we had to move in high school to have all this room with the computers. Some problems about poor visual or audio performance. And then the most important, reluctance from some parents of caregivers concerned about the use of computers, skepticism regarding the educational relevance of coding for disabled learners. They said us that it is too difficult for our subjects to follow such an activity. The perception that coding may be too demanding or abstract. And finally, a disconnect between the coding process and traditional music aesthetics, which sometimes led to confusion or misleading expectation. These challenges are maybe crucial for this activity, of course, because while we were very satisfied, educators and caregivers were not so enthusiastic about our result. So, to conclude, music coding is a very powerful and inclusive tool for people with disabilities and also with all abilities people. It's a powerful tool also for education, not only for rehabilitation. And with the support, when supported with appropriate strategies, coding becomes not only accessible, but deeply engaging. So, thank you for technical problems. Thank you for your attention. And if you like to know more, this is my website where there is a section for learning strudel in Italian. Or this is the website of the association Teach Music, where we have a lot of projects of music education, digital music education. Okay, thank you very much. And I think there is no space for questions. Maybe we make it later. Thank you very much. Now, it is Giuseppe Bergamino. Okay, Giuseppe, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you read the title of your presentation and share?
Yeah, just
we are
give me
a
a
little
sec.
bit late.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I guess, can you see my full screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Actually, not the full screen, but your
No?
application. That's the full screen.
Now?
Yep, perfect.
Oh, cool.